Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. These episodes have been a trip. And, even today, there was things in this episode that I was just like, what am I watching to some extent? Like, okay, you have Steffi that wants Liam to sit there and tell the truth to Hope about his medical condition because, they share children and everything like that. And she would want to know. And, you know, being blindsided, it's just it's a very terrible feeling, right? I talked a little about that in my General Hospital review about Dante being blindsided that his child was drunk. He didn't know about it until afterwards, right? And Hope will feel like garbage. I made this argument when Eric was dying. And Eric didn't want to sit there and tell everyone, and there was people that was like, you have two groups of people. You have the people that's like, well, it's their medical condition. They have a right to sit there in privacy, right? And it's a very see. There's not really a right and a wrong. There's just perspective. For me personally, I want to know, right? Because I'm going to be pissed that I felt blindsided, that I wish I had more time, that I wish I could sit there and say more things that I didn't get to sit there and say because you felt to keep that to yourself. You felt the need to sit there and feel selfish about what you're doing. And it annoys me with Liam when he goes back and he tells Steffi, well, I'm just not ready to do it. And, I know that's just being selfish, but, it is being selfish. And I understand, Nikisha once said that, if you ever had a moment to sit there and feel selfish, that would be it. Right? And I get where she's coming from, and I get where a lot of people that are on that side of the fence are coming from. But, sometimes I guess in life that, you have to sit there and kind of pick a side. And for me, I feel like it's just some selfish ass shit of what he's doing. I respect, like I said, I respect Nikisha's point of view, and I feel like that's what a lot of people on that side that's like, listen, it's my right to my medical condition or whatever. But being blindsided, it makes you feel like shit. It's a very shitty feeling. So yeah, essentially that's what happens. He goes over there, he talks about everything else except for what he's supposed to talk about, then he comes back. Then, Steffi's like, you should tell the truth. He has his reasons and it's whatever. Steffi's like, what, listen, this shit is just unacceptable. And so she decides to go over there and tell Hope. And when she gets there, first of all, we don't use doors anymore. We don't bother to use doors. Like, she just walked on in. I'm going to pretend that there is some sort of security. Because when it comes to these soap operas and rich people and everything like that, how are y'all just having all this luxury? Do you understand the crime rate in LA and we just walk through doors or whatever? We just go through the back way? Like, what? Anyway, she comes in. And at first Hope is like, listen, if this is not about business, what do you want? And I thought they were going to wait until tomorrow to be like, or just interrupt and just making it last longer. Nope, she told her today. She was like, hey, Liam's dying. And I'm looking at my phone because, this is where I am with the show at times. And when she said that, I actually had to put down my phone. I was like, whoa, what? So that was actually surprising. Deacon, Jesus Christ. Let me tell you just how stupid Deacon is in a sense. He sat there, he was bitching and complaining to Brooke about Carter, right? And about how he wants Carter to stay away from his daughter because, he hurt her so bad. His dumb ass said that he dumped Hope. Brooke was like, that's not what happened. Hope dumped him. Oh, whatever. No. Bro, here's my thing. If you can't keep an important detail like that, straight, everything else that you're sitting there saying just shows me. I mean, he is practically sitting there trying to make it seem like Hope is the victim, right? I get that, as a parent, your child or whatever could do no wrong to some extent. But goddamn, I mean, I feel like in a sense what he's doing, he's undermining her. He is okaying everything that she's doing. He is basically making it seem like it's everybody else's fault. And like those are like the worst type of parents. Because generally when that kid grows up, they grow up to be just the most insufferable, can't do no wrong, everybody else is wrong, they are right kind of attitude. And that comes from insufferable asshole parents like them. So you got that going on. You got Daphne that, while some of the stuff she was saying was correct as far as, you feel guilty for Hope not being here. And that's probably why you want to sit there and keep on to this relationship or to really fight for her and stuff. While that may be true, she is still operating from a place of desperation. Okay? I find it utterly, I don't know. I don't know the word sit there and use for it, but I find it just utterly just pathetic. Yeah, pathetic for her to be vying for this guy's affection and his attention. I mean, she seems like the type of woman that can walk into a room and command the room in a sense, but yet you're having so much difficulty letting go one person. I understand, I guess, in her vapid mind that, she wants to challenge, she don't want somebody that's just gonna snap her fingers and come to her, but like at some point, boo, like there's a challenge and then there's I'm being pathetic, maybe I should sit there and step back because this isn't a good look for me. But for some odd reason, they decide this is where they want this to go. So you got that going on. You have Carson that they're reaching out to Hopes and to saying, oh, I'm going to sit there and fight for you. I'm going to sit there and make sure that Ridge knows every single day. I don't care how annoying it is. I guess in some people's mind, this may be considered to be romantic. But I'm like, bro, if you was really on that energy, you would have walked out with her. You would have walked out with her instead of sitting there saying something that every goddamn normal, sensible human being on the planet would sit there and say is, I gotta protect, this is my livelihood. I gotta do this. I can't sit there and afford not to do this. So, but then again, I guess one can argue sometimes you gotta realize your mistakes, even though I don't think it was a mistake, but here we are, right? I swear, B&B is definitely a trip. Also, share this. One second. Share this video because it really does help actually grow the channel. I want to sit there and because there are B&B fans out there. The show's been on for 35 years. I don't want to sit there and say it's all an accident or an uphill weird success that this show's still in the air. Got 3 more years, so anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. That is the general gist of the episode. If I missed anything, write in the comment section below. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all 5 of the shows, even though Beyond the Gates is not. We'll talk about that too. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.